Wow, what an incredible game last night. Lakers, Warriors, one game, play-in game to get to that seventh seed. Lakers ended up pulling out 103-100. But what an incredibly fun game. Can anyone disagree that that game wasn't fun? I mean, we had the Warriors just coming out and blitzing the Lakers, taking a double-digit halftime lead. Lakers struggling offensively. Now, they haven't been together much at all towards the end of the year. They kind of brought it together with Lebron, the ankle injury, AD just coming back off that Achilles. Schroeder was also out due to COVID protocols. So the Lakers came out definitely struggling and definitely felt like they were a little bit in cruise control. Now, LeBron ends up getting it done with the late game bomb. And you know what? If you're going to make that shot to win this game, you tip your cap to him. Warriors move on. You fought as hard as you could fight. And there was your game. So looking at the box score, Curry with 37 points on 23 shots. 7 and 8 from the free throw line. 6 turnovers, not ideal. Okay, Wiggins contributed too with 21 points on 18 shots. Draymond does his usual defensive mastermind. JTA gave us some minutes, hit a couple of shots. Jordan Poole gave some minutes, hit a couple of shots. Lakers with AD and LeBron turning it up in the second half. Schroeder struggled, but Caruso picked up the slack off the bench with 14 points on 6 of 12 shooting. And Andre Drummond and Montrezl Harrell contributed almost nothing. Now, Kuzma and KCP also didn't have great games, but you know what? They fought hard. They also fought hard defensively. So let's talk about the 6 turnovers by Curry. Some of those were pretty tough second half. The one against Caruso where he does the crossover, Caruso picks him, hits it off his knee, goes out of bounds. Timing does matter. There was another turnover where the Warriors were up 9, I think, in the third. After the Lakers were looking to make a run, Curry can't hold on to the ball. They turn it over and ends up in a 3 from Wes Matthews in the corner. That ultimately could have been a 6-point swing, right? If the Warriors come back and hit a 3 on the other end, or they had the momentum at the time. So turnover timing does matter. Okay. Now, a lot of people are saying that the foul calls and some of the flopping that the Lakers were doing were part of the reason why the Warriors lost in the second half. I disagree with that. Yeah, we didn't get a lot of calls in the second half, but you know what? When you turn the ball over like the Warriors did, they had 20 turnovers in this game, right? It's hard to win a basketball game with 20 turnovers. Now, the interesting thing is the Lakers only had 13 turnovers, but the Warriors did have 29 points off those turnovers to the Lakers 18. So even though we turned it over 20 times, the Lakers didn't capitalize on it that much. But the important part is we didn't get shots on those possessions, right? Even if the Lakers didn't score on the turnovers that we gave up, we ourselves did not get shots, which you'll see in the box score. Lakers had 91 shots to the Warriors 83. Okay, now we did hit 5 more threes, 15-10, and we shot 44% from the three-point line, with the Lakers getting to the line 10 more times and getting 8 more free. So if you're going to be an underdog team and pull up the upset, especially in a one-game situation, you cannot let the better team get more shots. Like, three-pointers are the great equalizer, but when the other team gets more shot attempts and more free throws, it's very hard to win that game, even if that team didn't shoot very well. Lakers only shot 40% from the field, 32% from the free throw line, or from the three-point line. Now, the other interesting thing is, coming into this game, I just thought, well, how are the Warriors going to get rebounds with Anthony Davis, LeBron, Drummond, Montrezl Harrell? I mean, these guys, are dogs in the inside on the paint. Warriors did a fantastic job on the ball. Only losing the rebound battle by 3. Only by 3. That's incredible, given they're playing Looney. Looney had some great minutes. He had 13 boards in 20 minutes. And honestly, I don't know why he doesn't do that most games. But it seems like the Warriors had that second playoff gear that they were able to turn it on. And, they just got beat by the better team, the team that had more talent. If you take a look at some of those possessions, there's undeniable evidence how good Steph Curry was on the court. Just look at how the Lakers were playing defense. Every time come off a screen, he'd come up the pick and roll. They had 2, 3 guys all gravitated towards him. And he still had 37 points on 23 shots. So it wasn't even that he was inefficient. Like, he was inefficient against the Grizzlies when they won that game. And the Lakers, the best defensive team in the league, with multiple guys on Curry, still couldn't stop this guy. That is incredible. Anybody who's still slandering Curry, saying he needed a super team to play well, can we finally be done with that narrative? Can we finally be done with that? Because even though they lost last night, he's been showing it for the last 3 months. He can get it done. Okay? They've been playing playoff basketball for basically the last 2 weeks. And you know what? Curry is playing incredible. So a couple of notes I also want to cover is JTA, Poole, and Wiggins. Warriors got some players. Even though we're missing Clay, and we may not look like contenders this year, the mere fact that those guys are getting minutes are showing that they can play. They weren't afraid of the moment. They were not afraid of the moment. Now, can they build on that, especially going to next year, or at least against the Grizz on Friday? The Warriors have to be careful of a big emotional letdown on Friday against the Grizzlies. And it's hard to beat NBA teams 2 times in a row. So that's also working against them. Now they get this game at home, but it's hard for them to beat team 2 times in a row. Can the Warriors get up again for another game after especially this emotional battle against the Lakers? It's interesting to see it from the Lakers side. Okay, going forward, all right, they got this win. They were tested heavily. They were able to, even though shooting bad offensively, show that they could do it on the defensive side of the ball, forcing turnovers and, just making it hard on. They're not going to face another player like Steph Curry. Okay, that's a unique matchup for them. Now, one of the problems too with the Lakers is AD's refusal to post. It's very interesting. It could have been more of Draymond's one of the best defenders in the league, especially in that area. Maybe AD decided that he could not get the advantage there. So he started hitting some shots in the second half. But the other side, too, is Drummond and Montrezl Harrell. Did they even play last night? Did anyone notice them on the court? Because I didn't. These are supposed to be the recruits that help the Lakers get pushed over the edge, and they didn't show anything last night. So going forward, they have to contribute a little bit more. And Schroeder looking for that $100 million extension. You didn't show it last night. So you better show something in the playoffs, or that extension's not coming for you, Schroeder. At the end of the day, the Lakers just had more talent. And they showed that they can win in multiple ways. Warriors only had one way of winning, which is they got to get hot from 3, and you have to get some support from the role players. Lakers played terribly offensively, still won this game, even though I guess it was in LA. So, quick preview for what's going on next. Lakers versus Suns. Look for Chris Paul to attack a lot against Drummond, and look for the Lakers to counter with not playing Drummond or Montrezl Harrell at all. They cannot play on the court. You probably have to play LeBron and AD as the 4 and 5, because Drummond, Montrezl Harrell, they do not look like they belong. They did not look like they belong on the court last night. So look for that in the Suns-Lakers series. I expect the Lakers to still win that series because they have the best 2 players, LeBron and AD. And watch out on Friday for the Warriors to be a little let down in the first half. Maybe they can turn on the third quarter against the Grizzlies, who just got a good win against the Spurs. And be careful. The Warriors could very easily lose this game on Friday.